Greetings, my exalted peers. Now, as you know, if you ran into me even briefly during our get-together in New York, I am rather into the whole entrepreneurship thing. It's what I do, it's what excites me, it's my bit. But the entire entrepreneurial process starts with an idea, and as I said to anyone who would listen during the little get-together, I am between ideas at the moment. Luckily, your talent is exceeded only by your generosity, and so nearly every person I spoke to gave me their startup idea. At the end of the event, I was left with more ideas than I could possibly pursue, and so, in order to ensure that all those ideas you generously gifted me do not go to waste, I present to you 22 startup ideas in 8 minutes. First up on the list is Dead Drop, a series of boxes containing GPS locators and a QR code on each corner placed in open areas with no obstructions. The GPS locator and natural location makes it easy for simple drones to find them and make deliveries. By this means, it is possible to have drones deliver things like laundry to apartment complexes or rental offices very cheaply with present-day technology, instead of having to wait for Amazon to finish that whole drone delivery thing they've been bragging about. New Guy, a smartphone or tablet app that helps you remember your new classmates or coworkers by showing them their names, pictures, and a simple list of adjectives. For instance, to help me remember the names of all the people I met at the Manhattan event, my smartphone might quiz me on the name Sean, his picture, and the simple descriptor, he's the guy who came up with that cool drone idea. By this means, you can memorize a handful of facts that differentiate classmates and coworkers in your mind, letting you get along with them more quickly and eventually get to know them better. Supply and Demand, an online retail app for artists and musicians, allowing them to change the price of their products based on how many have already been sold. For instance, an artist selling limited edition prints might sell them for $10 each initially, but the price of prints goes up by $1 for every print that has already been sold. More complicated functions are also possible depending on what will encourage sales. Gift of Hope, a service targeted at low-income customers that allows them to, for only a few dollars, give a chance at winning a much more valuable item as a gift. For instance, if you can only afford $2 or $3 for a friend's birthday gift, instead of getting him some knick-knack you know he'll never use, you can give him a chance at winning, say, a car. Social insurance, a form of employment insurance specifically for social media gaffes. Kids, or parents, pay in starting from a relatively young age, and if their careers are ever stunted by, say, doing something horrible on Facebook, it gradually pays out over time according to a number of pre-specified rates. Bailout, a startup that allows people to use money in savings account that are earning no interest to bail out lower income customers who are currently suffering overdraft or interest fees. The low income customers then pay back their benefactors at a lower rate than they would have otherwise paid as a result of those fees. Somewhat high risk, but presented in the same light as microloans. QR Ninja, a grassroots marketing firm that specializes in getting QR codes in impossible-to-reach macro-scale environments. For instance, arranging a cornfield to form a QR code directly before a survey plane passes over it, or painting one side of a skyscraper to form a QR code visible to the entire city. Crash and Burn, a crowdfunding site specifically for startups that are obviously terrible ideas. The one additional requirement in order to raise funds on this site: your entire startup process, succeed or fail, must be rigorously documented on camera, and the resulting footage becomes the exclusive property of Crash and Burn to be used to make whatever online documentaries or films the company likes. Those films are then monetized. Anecdotal, an app that generates truthful, accurate, confirmable anecdotal evidence in favor of whatever point you're trying to argue. So for instance, if you're pro-free trade, you merely need to enter that position into the app, and it will generate a variety of completely accurate, easily confirmable stories that support your position. Game Changer, a startup-friendly employee evaluation app that allows managers to set daily, weekly, and monthly quests for employees on which their performance is evaluated. Allows employees to have an objective metric of how they will be judged, while at the same time using a gamification-based system to encourage productivity. Turnabout, an online app to allow employees to outsource the most menial and unpleasant parts of their own jobs, thus improving overall productivity and morale. First Impressions, an app into which you can enter a list of your friends. The first time you enter the same general geographic area as those friends, such as Manhattan, the app alerts you. Useful for meeting up with friends who thus far you have only known online or at a distance. Subtext, an app into which you can upload recordings or transcripts of conversations wherein an expert on social signaling will help you interpret the subtext on what was going on for a nominal fee. Window on the World, a voice chat app which opens a window to random locations, such as the Cornell campus or IBM's headquarters or some desirable location in that vein, allowing for random encounters with employees or students on break. There is a charge based on how valuable the location is. A coffee shop in the middle of nowhere would be very cheap, while the Cornell campus would be very expensive. PairUp, a marketing startup which enhances call center effectiveness by pairing call center employees with customers who match their demographics, race, background, gender, etc., thus improving bonding between call center employees and the people they are attempting to sell to. Neighborhood Watch, automated camera drones to patrol high-crime neighborhoods at random hours of day and night. Gattaca, a biotech startup that reduces the cost of research into human longevity by allowing people to buy potentially long-lived pets at a significant markup, thus subsidizing research expenses. Takeoff, a hire a project manager system where business owners or entrepreneurs can post the details of the project they wish to execute along with a reward, and then different project managers can bid on the right to complete the project, submitting partial drafts and outlines of their execution strategy. Fully Optimized, a combination workspace Oculus Rift app that combines environmental controls with the Oculus Rift headset in order to fully control every aspect of an employee's environment. That environment can then be optimized for productivity, ranging from a virtual office layout to temperature, humidity, light conditions, etc. Palace of Memory, a piece of desktop or Oculus Rift software which represents all of the files and folders on the system as a navigable 3D environment. This allows for human spatial memory, which is far superior to human general memory, to be used to remember the contents and location of all files on the system. Particularly useful for those with ADHD or other memory-related learning disorders. Eye Level, a small metal frame which holds a camera at eye level along a computer screen. That way, when you are talking to somebody with a visual chat program such as Skype, you can actually look at their face instead of having to look at the camera several inches above them. Old School. Use current generation metallic 3D printing technology to create fully customized etched business cards out of 24-karat gold or sterling silver. With the current cost of 3D printing and those metals, the cost of each card remains under $20. Allowing wealthy clients to pay to make an incredible first impression. And that was 22 startup ideas. Some of them were good, some of them were bad, but all of them were interesting, and I thank you all for giving them to me. That was it. It was good to see all of you in New York City, and I will see you all very soon in Ithaca.